Now you should be able to hear me. I have a real problem with remembering to turn this thing on. Anyway, I was talking about professor's tenure. Thank you for letting me know, 5K. Yep, that's it. That was it, wasn't it? It works so much better when you turn an appliance on. It just works, you know, like you could walk into a room and the light switch isn't turned on, and same thing. You expect the light to be on. Now with Google and Siri, you can just tell them to do it, but yep, I was saying this is the last week for this month's proximity, which is, I think it's been an okay lesson. Hi, Susan Smurf Murphy. Nice to have you here. Hi, Roberta. You didn't get the 30-minute warning? I don't know how to help you. That's a YouTube thing. I don't know. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Was it you, Kathy, that was babysitting this weekend and you missed the submission? I think that was you. Being all grandma-y with a teething baby. Oof. Oof. That's so hard. They just cannot be consoled sometimes. Okay, well, if you can hear me, and we're all here, hail, hail, the gang's all here, we'll go ahead and start. Look, I even have my buttons. I knew what to start with. All right, well, let's get started. I'll go to the intro and we'll be right back. I think I forgot to do that Tuesday. Hi, I'm Mary Gunn. Welcome to Fun University. Hello, I'm Mary Gunn, Fun, founder and head professor at Fun University. Welcome to the Cards Plus Lab for July. I think it's our 4th one, which is a lot. I don't usually do four Cards Plus labs. When we were private, I didn't. And I do have an announcement about that later on in the class. But welcome. We've been talking about it. Okay, wait. If you don't know about Fun University, we are a card making from a design perspective class. And it's a live thing. If you are joining us on replays, I know you do. Please let us know in the comments. We love to know who's out there. And even if you just last 5 minutes, please subscribe also and give us a thumbs up if you think that is something that you would like to do. Hello, Lee. Oh, I know, that mic. I forgot to turn on my mic. I do all, okay. I'm going to do this right now because I don't want to forget it later. We do want to thank our patrons because we are community supported. We don't have any sponsors yet, and we want to stay ad-free. So we do want to thank our Club Fun members, our Fun supporters, and our Fun friends. They do all get different benefits, and some of them are pretty darn fun, including Club Fun has a scrapbook game every month, and it also has classes for scrapbooking, which is if you want, oh no, that's not what I wanted. There, I hit the wrong thing. This is what I want. So if you want to learn how to scrapbook or need some review on that, or just break the inertia, consider being a Club Fun member. We are there for you. It's a good thing. Hi, Andy Zach. You think this is your first Fun University attendance? Well, we're glad you have you. So this month we've been talking about proximity. Proximity is a design element that helps you make better cards. So in proximity, it's very, you've probably heard the term it was in your proximity, you were close to something. It just means things are close together. So if you have like items and they're close together, you start seeing them as a unit. You start, instead of seeing them as different parts that don't make any sense, you start seeing them as a full focal point unit. And so that's what we've been discussing. Let's go down to paper and we'll show you. Each week we've been doing a different card size, and we have been using bugs as as our little go-to thing. I don't, I like Funny University. And I don't know about the 30-minute warning. I'm sorry. I just don't. It's a YouTube thing. I can check, but I don't know. I don't know. It'll probably stump me. The first week, that was the lesson 1. We talked about proximity and a 4 1/4 square size card. And I'm just going to show you these. And we were talking about how this that jar with the vellum actually kind of made it feel separate, but see how everything's all working together here. Another trick that we learned was if you have some sort of base involved, it's much easier to feel like everything's working together. Then we worked on 4 by 4 1/4 cards, and I guess I got a little extra friend. And we just made, and we've been also, another component of this month was using a whole sheet of 12 by 12 paper, because we have discovered that some have a lot of 12 by 12 paper. So we worked on A2 size cards using a 12 by 12 sheet into, I think it's 8 cards, 6 cards, something like that, per sheet. So that, if you want to go back and learn about that, that would be lesson 2. Then last week we talked about 5 by 7 cards, and I'm telling you, I like these things. These are good size cards to work with. We learned about using A2 size cards to learn on that. I guess I forgot this thing. I was going to do that last week. And then this is a 5 by 7, and it's just controlling the space. It's like working the room, controlling the space. These were the cards we made last week. So if you want to learn about how to get 5 by 7 cards out of a 12 by 12 sheet and ways to control that space so that it makes sense, you can watch last week. Episode 3, or lesson 3. And then we also had, I cut this piece of paper to show everybody how I cut it. And then I simply, because the background was so busy, I simply cut a sentiment and added it to all of the cards, and a small little pattern, or a little border there to keep the eye from the open. So it had a little bit of a frame there. So I just wanted to show you those. Those are super simple. I know that people are doing Christmas in July, and this might be something that would be real handy and something you could use a lot of paper on. So that's something to consider too. That was week number 3. This time we're going to do 6 by 6. Christina's favorite. Oh, she's watching the movie, almost missed. I'm just going to take a piece of 12 by 12 paper to make the 6 by 6 card. I always bend it, turn it a 1/4 of a turn, see which one has pushback. Oh, it's this way. So I'm going to come back over this way, because this one folds nicely. And I am going, you can either cut it, well, this 6 by 6 is a little different than other things, but I want it to bend and not crack. So I'm going to cut right along here, and then it will just be so nice to fold into a 6 by 6 card. Alrighty, so here we go. 6 by 6 cards. Now in Sweden, they don't cost any more to send. But in the United States, I don't think they cost a lot more to send, but they all cost a little bit. So if you are watching your pennies, probably isn't the right size for you. But you do get a 6 by 6 canvas to work on. They do say a little more, they do give you more room to work. Definitely you could do top or side. Or if you mix it up, you can go on the bottom. But they do give you quite a bit more room than a 4 1/4, say, but you could put a 4 1/4 on it. Look at, if you cover it up there, you've got like 1 1/2 3/4 all the way around. It's quite a bit more room. If you put an A2 on it, you can see there's really not that much space. It feels really big, but it isn't really that much space. You have about 1 inch on the side, and it looks like a 1/4 of an inch on both top and bottom. So if we move it over in the quarter, we have a 1/2 inch, and it looks like 1 3/4 inch on that side. So you do, if you start doing the math, you can get more numbers, but then this guy's not going to fit on it very well. Nope. But we might flip a 5x7 and let the 6x6 just sit on it, and we just have it's a different size. It's not that much different in area to work with, but it is just a different. It's square instead of rectangle, so you think of it just a little bit differently. So what I've promised everybody tonight was we're going to do a faux gel plate. It's not going to have the same effect as a gel plate, but it's fun and it's pretty easy. And we're going to try a faux gel plate, and then we're going to make a couple cards and figure out what kind of elements you want to use on a 6x6 card. And this is my faux gel plate. Welcome to my meat tray, or it could also be a vegetable tray. So whatever you get at the grocery that has this sort of thing, that's all I'm using. I did score some little gashes in it, and you will see that they come out as white. I'm going to be using Distress Oxides, and I just put it inside that little faux gel plate. Use a little bit of green. We're going on the color wheel right next to each other, so we don't have to worry about any kind of muddy-duddy. And then some pretty blue. I don't know the names of them. And then we'll just add a few little spots here and there without messing up our stamp pad too much. That was Faded Jeans. Well, that makes sense because it does look like Faded Jeans. This was Mustard Seed, and this was Mowed Lawn. FYI. Next, we're going to just spray some water on it. I have a water brush here. Relatively clean. We'll start with the lighter color and just fill in some blanks. Make things kind of blend together a little bit. Nothing too shocking here. Remember, we're going to have a 6x6 area right there. And I'm just going to use this. Yes, this is Christina's favorite. And we'll just drop it right on there and rub it up just a little bit. This will give us a background to start working with this big area. Now Christina it's pretty, huh? Christina she does remarkable scenes. We're not going to talk about that because, honey, I know you've got that market all together. You know what you're doing on scene building. And, but I think you'll find that what I'm telling is true about even your scene building. We can add a little more up there. Might even give it another little squirt. See if we can pick up a little more color. Kind of sparse right now. And it's not a gel plate, so you're not going to get the great second poles or anything, but that's not too bad. It's just a different look. Alrighty, so that's my faux gel plate. If you don't have one, which I don't, and you want to pretend you do, which I do, this is something you can play with. And you can then, on top of this, you can do all the things. You can add stencils with gesso. You can add stencils with other colors. You can stamp on them. You can do whatever you want. Distress Oxides are on my, you know what, I'm doing 5K for Distress Oxides. I never had them until this year. They are great. And I am building it slowly because they aren't cheap, and I have so many other things it's hard to justify, but they are great for this kind of thing. I'm buying 4 colors per season, which seems a little slow, but you know, I've got other things to do. So I bought my first 4 were spring colors. The second 4 were summer colors, and I'm doing the basic green, yellow, blue, reds. So that's how I'm building. And it slows me down enough that I don't panic and go, now which one? I have a system now that I can go, okay, I need a green one that's going to be a fall color. I need a yellow one that will be a good fall color. I need a red one that's a good fall color, and a, what's the last one? Blue. That will be a good fall color. And then if I think I'm pretty good at that at winter time, I can start doing a few of the neutrals, which I know are very popular. So that's how I'm doing it. Not saying it's the best way or the only way, just a way. And then these are a little bit wet now because of the water, but I'm just going to set them off to the side because I did it earlier and it looks pretty similar, doesn't it? First pull, second pull. Then I did put some water on it, let it sit a moment, and then pulled, did the wet or the paper towel and got some of the distressing stuff going on there. All right, so we've got all this space, right? Ooh, what are we going to do with it? Well, we're going to have to consider what we want to do with it. If we want a scene, you're still going to have a lot of space to fill if you're going to start with small little lawn fawn kind of size little guys. It's going to take a long time to fill a scene, but if you want that, this may be a great idea to start with the 6x6. If you, like, some of the scenes have settings, and so see how that works on a 6x6 before you commit. Another thing is you can always do just a 5.5 by 5.5 and then stick it on a mat and a 6x6 so you can have the coloring like with the alcohol markers, and you don't have to worry about bleed through. So you can do that too. Plus, if you just have a single sheet, then if you screw it up, you don't have to worry about all this. You can just cut to the chase and do another one. I wonder if I like it this way. I kind of like it that way. I think those are so pretty together. Next thing I wanted to do was, then I started pulling out a few stamps. Don't panic. We won't be here in the morning. But I did pull out a few stamps that I thought had larger images on them and thought we'd just go through them and see what we think. I know what I think because I'm an opinionated so-and-so. So, let's see. I use those. For this background, again, you wouldn't, that's a whole nother consideration, such as if you had this little stamp set. This is big enough, but it's pretty busy to go on this background and have it stand out. But you could have it, see how nice and big it is? But you could have it on this background and then work with the color somehow. Oh, is that where that stamp was? But you could, because it does cover a lot of real estate. So just, you could think about that. You could also just have I didn't use paper this time. You could also just have a sidebar right here with a stamp like this, and then a sentiment and some sort of that third little thing, maybe a circle that goes halfway around there. So it kind of, or a mat or something like that. So size-wise, that's good. Busy-wise, I would have trouble on this background. These leaves are nice and big, and they're very popular. You can see a lot of these going on right now on cards. And because they're pretty, and they're really fun to color. But these would be pretty good size leaves to go on this. I think you could build a really pretty card with that, and some of the nice size flowers. And the sentiment isn't too bad. Finding paradise wherever I go would maybe not, I would question whether that would be a good card, but find me under the palms. I'm not sure about that either, but maybe this was supposed to be a scrapbook thing. Oh, by the way, I have been going through my grandmother's sympathy cards. Holy smokes. Do be the person that sends a sympathy card. Don't be the person who sends the sympathy card and tells the person who's sad what's wrong with them? What's wrong with the rider? Oh yes, I'm down with lumbago. I mean, I was like, honey, this was not your time. Anyway, do it if you want, but I kind of went, oh no. And then the other one was talking about their vacation. I thought, well, that seems, maybe they're just trying to cheer them up. I don't know. I don't know. I like the ones where they talk about how they liked my grandma, but that's me. You think the jar and the flowers would match? Ooh, which one on the left? This would, oh, fourth turn on the left. Yep. Yep, you could. You could. It doesn't have that much space stuff over there, does it? That's true. Here's another one that had a pretty good size cupcake. And a cupcake would look good on here with maybe a circle even. And doily, some gesso into a circle, some vellum. All sorts of different things you could do. I'm going to cough again. Thank you so much. But it's a nice size. So if you were, so just looking at this, you could even add some little faces and different things scattered about. So that's a pretty good size. There's a cup. That's a nice size. That would fill, you could have 1, 2 right there, and it would look good. Not too small. There's a camera. I don't know what you do for that, but maybe you have a photo. You could put a photo in a camera. So but size-wise, it's nice. Big sentiments. Big sentiments. Big sentiments. Definitely big enough. Definitely takes enough space. Whereas on it would be large and in charge on an A2. On a 4, it barely fits. But this would be a nice place for that too. We do have a big sentiment that we're going to show you what it looks like. And then I found I got my big trailer out from the other night that I did on Friday night show compared to these little trailers. And you would have these little trailers all over the card. And you could do a scene. You certainly could. You'd have a lot of sky, but you could do a trailer this size would be much more appropriate, I think. You're seeing the picture, right? I'm not saying just put that on there. We're going to do some more. I've got some things cut out. I'm just saying all you have to do is think about the size of your stamp when you're dealing with the size of your canvas. Couple big flowers. Those would work pretty. This flower is old, and but I saw one that's very similar that just came out today on Simon Says. So I pulled it out because I thought, oh, look at there, the old is new again. And this particular stamp set, I was featured on Jeanette Linton's blog once upon a time, and who's the founder of Close to My Heart. So that's kind of a good size. And big numbers, big number, big number. You could do some big numbers for birthdays. Here's a little girl. I thought she was a fairly decent size for this size card. Not too big, but pretty decent. Here's another one, a big sentiment. That would definitely fill the page. And one more big sentiment. I'm still wearing the smile you gave me. And that would work too. Okay, so let's pull out some actual stamped images. As opposed to little stamped images. Okay. If you wanted to go single image, you need to have something that has a little bit of size, which I thought she did. And I accented her size by doing some brighter colors than the background. And so that she stands out a little more than if it were, oops, that's not gonna work, but if it were just yellows and greens, she would not stand out. So I made sure that the red was going to be the color that is up against the background mostly. Does this make sense with the background? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I went ahead and stamped this on some vellum, which it was a sentiment that was in the set. And it says, how beautiful it is to do nothing and then rest afterwards. And it's a Spanish proverb, and you gotta like that. So see how it's filling it up, but it all feels like it works together. Now what I was saying about having some sort of base or frame, now you've got the idea of that. Now let's see what it looks like if we add a frame to pull in the size, even though the focal point, even though we don't lose any real estate. Does that make it feel more like everything's together? I don't really have anything that goes with this, but we could add some just for sake of, I mean, kind of like a fan. Relaxing. You wouldn't want them out here. This is a proximity rule. You wouldn't want those out there. That doesn't make any sense at all. And it doesn't make it feel like it's a unit. It just makes it feel like it's all confused. So if you put something like that, that would help you put your vellum down too. Have a diagonal line so it feels playful. We had a lesson on lines in May, June, something like that. We could put this wonky too. That would make it feel even more playful, which is pretty fun. And then have that one straight. Ooh, mercy. That one feels like it's been in an earthquake, but not bad. But you do have a lot of room to fill it up. Okay, let's try a white frame. See if that just calms it down a little bit. A white frame that's been used. See, that's pretty gone. But if you put it where you've got a lot of colors, it might help. We could put her right in the middle and definitely tell your viewer, yeah, she's the one. Have to move her over to have that work. And then some little things under here, which you could find on her little thing here, her little stamp set. So you could do, you know what would be kind of cute? Is have this down here. Oops, stop it. And then add a drink on top, her little beverage right there. So she has a little scene right there. You like the black better? Yep, this one's pretty, doesn't stand out as much, does it, 5K? And then we could try a smaller, see the difference of that small sentiment? It just looks small, doesn't it? It just doesn't feel like it's proportional to the card. Let's try it with the black. And this is okay to, the white frame does disappear, Leslie. You are absolutely right. And since this is bright and playful, you can have this kind of black boldness too. So if you wanted to have something like that, that's cute. It is cute. I think with the frame, it pulls it in a little bit better, and this smaller sentiment works better. Isn't that funny? My eyes are so interesting. Brains are so interesting. Get that foot out of there. I think maybe. I kind of like the foot going into the center of the card, but it sure takes away the space that you have for the mower, so to speak, in your garage. It takes a space from the sentiment where you can put it. Yeah. It does need something else, but that's not bad. That's kind of cute. I kind of like it. Yes, yes. Okay, so that's just one way we're going to look at it. We'll put her aside just for a second because she's so fun. We'll put her on the bright one because she really is bright. Or should we do on the bright? No, we'll do this on, we'll just leave it right here. And I love that saying. How beautiful it is to do nothing and then rest afterwards. Off you go. And here we go. then I thought, well, you know, we have been doing ants and different kind of insects. So I thought, well, if you had little ants, they're going to disappear really fast because there's so much room. So I thought, well, if you just did small little ants, a way to do small little ants would be to put them on little blocks. And then you could put them on something that pops them up. And this one is not, you could even put a little frame around it. And that would help it too. I don't know why you'd want that, but at the same time, we were just using it for an example. It's your day, treat yourself. Now, I don't know why ants would be a good thing to have on a card that says treat yourself, unless you just kind of like ants. But that is another way that you could use smaller stamps, is just to make a lot of them, and maybe make them use different ones and spread them, or make a little cohesive group of those little tiny stamps if you do. But there's so many cards that you can use small stamps on. It seems like a waste to me just to have small stamps on this big old thing, but it would work. It would work. So that was just my little, I had to get my insects in there, and I wanted to, I didn't have any big insects, and I know one of the trends in stamping right now is to have great big images. I know the Ton, it has some beautiful, huge butterflies, and I think they would be great on this. They're just gorgeous stamps, and so that might be something to look into. By the way, I colored these with crayons because I didn't want to, if they're black, right? And so I wanted to not use black ink because everything would disappear on them. So I'll have to figure out somehow to use these guys. They're kind of cute. But it's your day to treat yourself. That just isn't, no. And then another thing that I did was, I always like to have a good daisy stamp. I have one great Aster type daisy stamp. And so I went ahead and cut a bunch out, so we could see what it would look like, and some leaves on this background. And so these are medium-sized stamps. They're not huge. They're 2 inches. And I cut a bunch. I only have one purple one. I was going to go back to it, and then Steven said he had pizza, and I forgot about the purple thing right away. So what you would want to do for proximity is maybe not this, even though that would be an option. Actually, it's kind of cute. But if you wanted it to feel like a unit more, rather than having just different things spread out, then you can start to group these together into a cluster-ish type thing. Just like you would see a stamp that has a corner value, do I have something? A corner cluster of flowers. You can I'm trying to find it, but you can make your own just by cutting individual flowers out. And add some of these little leavies. That's actually a very, very fun card. I like this one. I like colors though. If you're a pastel person, this is not your night. But give me the bright stuff, and I'm happy. Yeah, that's got a lot going on, but I like it. There we go. Then if we did want to bring in a bug, we do have it would look kind of stupid, but we do have a bee. It doesn't look terrible stupid, but kind of stupid. So we do have a bee. Now this one would maybe make more sense. It's your day, treat yourself. And if we have this up here, what we've been talking about all month long is that does not feel like it's part of the group. It feels like it's the kid at recess that nobody likes and isn't letting them play with them. So you can nestle it down here, and you'll have more of a a unit feel. I like that a lot. The way I painted these was, I think you guys have seen this before, maybe if you're new, maybe not, but I have my embossing tool here, and then on the back I cut down my craft mat to fit on some cardboard, and then I just have it taped down. And so I just use Distress Oxides and some regular, whatever they are, Distress inks, and just painted on these little flowers, and making sure that I was using watercolor friendly ink, which was, I know everybody, we all had these things about inks, and I'm finally getting my black ink thing down, but this is what I've been using for watercolor inks, and I know that because I have it written right here so I don't forget. This one I used for Copic inks, a black one, and for alcohol markers, and I know that I use it for alcohol markers because I wrote it right here. And this is Honeybee, and it says right there, alcohol marker friendly, and it seems to be. I haven't had any trouble, which, hallelujah, because it seems like a long time I've been waiting for this. All right, so what else can you do? You're sliding in that back row. I see you. We also have this huge hugs. I like this. I don't want to mess it up. You could always stamp that too without the white, but you're more likely to lose it if you stamp it right on the background. If you have it on the white, it's going to pop up a little bit so that you're more likely to see it. So I'm going to leave that on white. I don't think I would want it on black, because then I think it might stand out just a little too much. But you could always, if you want to have a little edge, you can always just take a black marker, and I don't want anything to drop, and just flick it across lightly the surface of the ink pad. And then it gives just a little tiny bit of a frame, so that it doesn't just blend into the background. It says, hey, I'm important. Look at me. I think maybe some little doolollies around that would hold that all together a little better. Might not be the right sentiment either. How did I do the... Sharon, you're out of the water. I used... I made it with a faux gel plate, my cheap version, which was just trash going out into the trash after either zucchini or meat. I don't know which. And just used Distress Oxides, squirt some water up, and just pull it right off. Pretty cool. You would frame that card. Which card? This card? You'd frame that card? So here you could have hugs, and this does not like to fit on anything. So it's kind of nice to find a card that I can put hugs on. Finally, I have this big, beautiful sentiment, but it's so big it doesn't fit on everything. I don't know why bees would be going hugs, but they're cute, and that's what they are. So that's what they're going to be doing. I don't know. I only had 2 bees. 2 bees or not 2 bees? That is the question. Whether it is more noble in the mind of insects to be stamped. I don't know. But maybe butterflies would be prettier on that than bees. But I do like that. And so that would be a way to do a 6x6, is if you have a great big sentiment. You could also cut this out as a shadow and bring it down, or just some tissue paper as a little bit of a background, or some vellum as a background, mulberry paper. If you had some pretty origami paper, would be nice as a background. If you had, because it'd be thin enough that you could kind of crumple it, that'd be cool. I don't know. I don't know if I haven't even tried that. Kind of thinking out of new things like that. Is that what you're thinking, Jamie Watts? Yeah. Well, one of the best things, Sharon, about doing it this way is you're not out anything. You can always throw it away. Yeah, the colors did look nice. But the bees, you know, bees and hugs, I don't know, they just seem like they're kind of opposite. It's kind of like a passive-aggressive card. Here, hug you. Let me hug you. I don't know. I don't know. You're as sweet as honey. Hey, that's a good question, Sharon. How come there's only 8 likes? Maybe only 8 people like it. So, could you put her with it? She seems a little hugs. She seems a little remote for hugs. But you could put all sorts of things. You know, I know some of you got some fruits and vegetables from the last class too. So you could, if you had some larger fruits and vegetables, you could use those on something like this too. As kind of like we did the pears, you know, you could do a little cluster because you've got so much room to work with. So I think the thing on 6x6s though is you do need to control the space. You've got to tell it, your viewer, to know where to look and what's important. But still, if you're going to do something pretty in the background, that, yeah, you can look there too, but keep your eyes right here. And this, we've got supporting actors and we've got the stars, and we want you to watch the stars. So, yeah, she does look a little standoffish, doesn't she? Well, she doesn't want to be bothered. She's reading a good book. Look at her glasses. I put liquid glass on them. Yes, yes, yes. Very, very classy. Anyway, that's really all I really had tonight. So I've got 2 more things to play with because I pulled them off tonight and they're already pretty dry. They don't take too long to dry. So, because I didn't use that much water. So I might get to play with that tomorrow morning before I start back to work for craft roulette. But like these little guys, these were the little ants that we made the little guys, but they're just not, I don't think they work very well. They're just too small. So if you have some bigger stamps that you end up not using because they're overwhelming, you might want to try something like this. I think I want to cut these. Let's go ahead and get out these my sharp new nobody hugs fruits and vegetables. Nope. Well, you pinch them and to see if they're ripe and poke them. But we don't hug them. Hugs, but you could send a fruit basket, and then it would be a good time to do hugs. Hugs from Harry and David, which I worked for I think 2 hours. I think that was the shortest job I've ever had. I learned how to, I had to watch DVDs on how to serve people samples. And what to do when the people kept coming back. Oh, those guys. They're trouble. But then I got another job and I quit. So there you go. I think that's the shortest job for me. So tomorrow night we have Wendy Cranford. If you are watching and at a replay, please let us know. But we do have another channel called Craft Roulette, and it is the ultimate paper crafting game improvisational game challenge show. Because we can't get enough words in the title. Put that on a marquee, or the back of a baseball jersey. My gosh, you'd have to have a big back. And anyway, that's another YouTube channel, and it's quite fun. You're all invited to join us. There we go. Almost. One more. This is so nice to have it sharp. Look, I got into the H, and I bet the sun will come up. It'll be okay. There we go. I know if I don't do this now, I will not do it tomorrow. So, now to tell you the big news about class. In the old days when we were a private institution, now that we're public, we're kind of just feeling through everything, all the changes, seeing what works, what doesn't work, what we need to adjust, things like that. And in the old days when we were private, I would do 3 classes, card classes a month. They were much more intense than I've been doing here, but that's okay too. And then I would concentrate on other things, which was like getting ready for the next month, things like that. So I am going to give myself that same little gift now that we've been here for a couple months on the private YouTube Craft Roulette channel, or not Craft Roulette, Fun University channel. And I am planning on just doing 3 classes, card classes, and 3 study hall classes a month, starting after this class. So we won't be here at the end. I don't remember where we are in the month, but I think there's quite a bit left. I want to be able to concentrate on, that looks good, on, there, oh yeah, that really helped it. I want to be able to concentrate on our fun club members and our scrapbooking program because it is such an incredible program. Once I get it all taken care of and all up and running, we might come back for more cards classes, and I might end up doing some videos just to release them and be fine. But just be forewarned that we won't be here except for the first 3 Thursdays and the first 3 Tuesdays. And then, but I wouldn't doubt that I have some more old Fun University videos that I will be releasing too that I want on this channel. So that's what's going on here. Well, Travis Boone is here, hot dog. So, okay, what else? What else? I don't have any Oxide inks. Would Gina K inks work? You can try it. I don't know anything about, I don't have any Gina K inks. Catherine Pooler inks also, you can just play with it. If you have some watercolors, they might work. If you have some acrylics, water them down and try it. If you have some, what is it, gouache, you could water that down and try it. If you just have regular inks, just try it. I mean, the doggone thing was free. So use some cheap paper and see what happens. Yes, Wendy is so much fun. I'm looking forward to hanging out with her again. Hug a pumpkin. Yes, I love it. And seriously, you know, you got the fall coming, so I cannot relate. But I have to. Yep. You're fine, Sandra Buchanan. Yeah, just watch the replay and let us know that you did that. Very good. Yeah, next week is the last week of July. Okay, then you're not going to be out much. That'll be fine. Good. All right, so that's what I have. We did the 4 1/4, A2, 5x7, and now 6x6. And we learned about proximity and how to make things feel like it's all, everybody's getting together and having kumbaya moments. Kumbaya on your cards is a very important concept. I think it's worthwhile investigating and thinking through. So, I don't know what else. I think I'm a little giddy. All right, if you do have any questions, let us know. Join us on our Fun University Lounge on Facebook. It is a private group. Just answer the questions and you will be automatically included. And you can do homework. I want to see your homework. You know I love seeing your stuff. And then join us again tomorrow night. You always learn something new with Miss Mary. Well, that's because I make stuff up, Miss Sandy. That's just because I make stuff up. That's why you learn it, because it hasn't been made up lately. Or somebody else did, but forgot to share it or something. Anyway. Yes, keep hitting those likes, subscribe, join us on Craft Roulette. I'm done. Kiss our brains, we did a good job. We did all sorts of cards. We're so smart. You're good students, and so thank you for being here. We will see you on Friday nights until next month. Bye-bye.